We're on the way to our new scuba diving adventure. Our flight brings us to the Red Sea in Egypt, which is one of the top 10 dive destinations in the world. The trip leads us far away from the mainland. Our goal, the Brother Islands, which are located over 60 kilometers away from the nearest coast. If you're an experienced diver, it is quite likely that you've been to Egypt before. Thanks to short flight times, this country lies practically at the doorstep for most Europeans. Water temperatures between 22 to 30 degrees Celsius, fantastic dive spots with excellent visibility, all surrounded by an infrastructure catering to the scuba diver. And for real adventure seekers, there's even more. Nowhere else will you find such a host of 5-star liveaboards at such competitive prices. After a 4-hour flight from Berlin, we've landed in Hurghada. You can buy the tourist visa for 15 euros at the airport if your travel agency hasn't done so for you. Just make sure that you bring your passport, and after a bit of waiting in line, you'll get it stamped. Depending on the safari routing, most liveaboards depart from Hurghada or Port Galeb, the harbor in the deep south. Our tour to the brothers will start from the new harbor in Hurghada. Our first anchor point is a dive spot close to the harbor. A so-called check dive is always the first dive of a tour before the liveaboard takes off. Right after we leave the harbor, our dive guide familiarizes us with onboard emergency procedures. We have to show proof of at least 50 log dives and either have dive insurance or purchase a plan on board for the week. The skills we must demonstrate on the check dive are standards like mask clearing and recovering a lost regulator. But we must also know how to launch an SMB, or surface marker buoy. On dives where strong current may occur, this is inevitable. But let's start with the fun part and go diving first. We dive by a giant formation of lettuce coral and spot the shy cigar wrasse and a school of yellowfin barbs. A blue-spotted stingray is often encountered on dives in Egypt, though they are seldom seen around the Brothers Islands. Here we can clearly see the 2 poisonous hooks on his tail. Another well-known poisonous animal in the Red Sea is the red lionfish. His dark camouflage patterns even go straight through his eyes. There's lots of time on this check dive to relax and spot the marine life. As calm as it is here, conditions around the Brother Islands can be otherwise. There are days where strong currents can occur without a chance of foresight. Occasionally, divers get caught in strong current and fail to shoot the SMB in time. The buoy is the key to being spotted from the zodiacs above. One harrowing story about 4 Russian divers made the headlines in August 2009. The group was washed away and couldn't be found. More than 24 hours after the search began, and 100 kilometers away from their origin, the divers were finally found alive on the mainland at the Egyptian shore of El Qasir. So we'd better concentrate on our exercises now. Taking off the mask, and putting it back on. Losing the regulator, and finding it again. And waiting patiently until it's our turn to demonstrate. The Zodiacs make drop-offs and pickups at a safe distance to the island, because the boats could be pushed against the rocks in a surge. This means we must be prepared to handle waters unprotected from the current. It is wise to shoot up an SMB at every safety stop, allowing the Zodiac drivers to spot and follow us in case we drift away. When we're at the Brother Islands, it'll be enough if one group member shoots the buoy. On this check dive, however, everyone has to demonstrate that he or she is capable of doing so. Everyone did well. No one got entangled in the cord line, lost the buoy, or had other problems. After we rinse our equipment and then ourselves, the next thing will be lunch. This will become our weekly onboard routine: dive, eat, sleep, 3 times a day in this order. At the northeastern part of the reef of Shahab Abu Nuhas lies the remains of the 3,720-ton Crusoe Cay. The cargo ship was once 107 meters long and now lies at a depth of 4 to 26 meters. We first dive toward the stern to explore the deepest part of the wreck. Here, we discover the magnificent ship's propeller and rudder blade. The stern of the ship lies almost aground. The midsection and bow, however, stand almost upright on the sandy bottom. This wreck is very accessible. Here we take a shortcut toward the cargo hold to inspect the remains. The cargo consisted of countless granite floor tiles. Many lay scattered about, yet in some areas we find them neatly stacked. On August 30th, 1981, after 27 years of service, the Crusoe Cay drove onto the reef at full speed. There it was abandoned and slowly submerged over the next 5 years. Daylight floods the entire wreck, thanks to the large openings, another feature which makes the Crusoe a perfect and easily penetrable wreck dive. The floor tiles have become unusable after such a long time in salt water. The Made in Italy embossing is well readable on many of them. We now explore the light-flooded decks. Because of the surge, the rooms have a lot of cracks and openings here. Next, we head toward the larboard side to visit the former workstation. This impressively large drill press stands in the middle of the room. Some cables hang loose from the ceiling, so I have to move slowly and carefully here. Despite this hindrance, these 2 connected rooms are quite large and spacious. This shipwreck is without a doubt a great start for the novice wreck diver. You can reach the Crusoe Cay with a day boat from Alguna, or do a full wreck safari in the north on a liveaboard. The only thing remaining is to lay back and enjoy the 8-hour journey to the Brother Islands. On the following morning, our ship lies at anchor before El Acavine, the Big Brother. Today is a calm and sunny day, and at the moment there are no signs of a strong current. A great indication for current are these pink and orange-colored antheas. If these little fish are close to the reef, we will encounter a strong current. If the current is mild, they tend to stray several meters from their shelter. Antheas are all born female. Within 1 week, a paramount female transforms into a male through gender reassignment. Giant fan coral, a rare sighting at most dive spots, are present at the Brothers. Unlike most corals, which join algae and live by photosynthesis, the fan coral lives from tiny plankton which they sieve out of the water. This is why you can find them at greater depths than any other corals. Below a depth of 40 meters, sunlight is too weak to provide for photosynthesis. On both Big and Little Brother, you can find several giant Napoleon fish. Actually, they're more likely to find you. Being used to divers, they're very playful here. The younger ones have a distinctive black masking around their eyes, which fades with age. Their name, Napoleon fish, derives from the famous form of the Frenchman's hat, which is reflected in the fish's anatomy. With age, this physical feature grows significantly. Here at the South Plateau near the broccoli coral lives a hawksbill turtle. She differs from other turtles with her giant beak and the 3 dozer blades behind her eyes. Her shell is much flatter than those of the tortoise, which streamlines her significantly. But because of this, she's not capable of hiding her head inside her shell. We join her for a while on her way to breakfast. On our menu today are broccoli coral. These coral have no chalk skeleton, but a hydroskeleton. The polyps shrink with negative pressure. One good piece of diver's advice here is to look out for the white filaments in the water. The turtle comes by often for a snack and is easily tracked by the floating remains of its meal. Oh, looks like someone else wants our attention. Turtles are well known as friendly and calm creatures, and they seldom care about us divers. Consequently, some make the mistake of cornering them, which can be a dangerous idea. Their toothless bills can easily remove an adult diver's finger. Here, a pennant butterfly fish profits from the rest of the turtle's breakfast. Notice her method of chewing, due to limited jaw movement. The hawkbill turtle has lungs like all other reptiles, so she has to visit the surface once in a while to take a breath. When she sleeps at night in the refuge of the reef, she lowers her heartbeat and can hold her breath for up to 3 to 4 hours. The red lionfish belongs to the family of scorpionfish. The poison glands in his spine can lead to very painful toxification. Many pufferfish produce the highly poisonous tetrodotoxin. It's a neurotoxin which can paralyze the respiratory muscles in humans within minutes. Especially in Japan, the flesh of the fugu is considered a delicacy and is prepared exclusively by trained chefs. Nevertheless, around 80 gourmets die each year from this meal. These surgeonfish are getting rid of parasites at this cleaning station. They have the ability to change their color from dark to light blue quickly. Pay attention to the fish at the bottom right. Perhaps they change color here to allow cleaner fish to find the parasites more easily. Normally, this is courtship behavior. A scorpionfish is lurking here between the corals. Well camouflaged, he sits here and waits for small fish to approach, which he then sucks into his mouth. He's not a very mobile fish, having no swim bladder as most other fish do. Here, a shoal of soldierfish is resting under an overhanging rock. Being nocturnal, they linger here all day, and at night they hunt for small crabs, worms, and larvae. Every day, around half an hour before sunrise, they seek shelter here again. This tan-colored suitcase fish is a pectoral fin swimmer, and therefore prefers the calmer sides of the reef. He uses his tail fin only when he finds himself in danger and wants to escape quickly. For his defense, he's not only surrounded by a square, rigid carapace, but he also produces very strong skin toxins. Paradoxically, this poison not only protects him from his enemies, if he's stressed, it can even be lethal to him. We move away from the color palette on the reef and face a very particular color, the deep blue. The depth of the ocean around the brothers feels infinite to us, with a water column over 1,000 meters high. 100 meters away from the islands, we hover in the blue, searching the big fish. And indeed, a thresher shark swims by. These animals are extremely shy and difficult to approach. One specimen seems to have settled to the south side of Big Brother. He's often found at home and seems to like watching the curious scuba divers as much as they enjoy watching him. Whiptail sharks can grow as big as 6 meters, but don't forget that his tail fin comprises half of his size. Its large tail fin is an important tool in the hunt. He uses it to swat and stun smaller prey. We can see that this is a male specimen because of its claspers between abdominal and tail fin. With its big round eyes and small mouth, the shark barely feels like a threat to us humans. It's fascinating. Here at around 30 meters depth, he swims in circles without being bothered by his divers, our noisy bubbles, or the photographer's flash. Despite our nitrox mix with 32% oxygen, we have to ascend to a shallower depth soon in order not to go into decompression. If you're looking for big fish here, one good piece of advice is to stay at an average depth of 20 meters, floating in the big blue while looking up and down in the search. This will give you the best overview, and you neither use up all your gas, nor do you reduce your no deco limit before you encounter something big. Our next dive takes us to the northern plateau. We dive past a swarm of flutefish, of which several start to follow us on the way to the wreck. Flutefish like to swim very close to divers so they can hide and stalk their prey. They've even learned to use the divers' bubbles to do so. Here on the north corner, we explore the wreck of the English cargo ship Numidia. It's one of the most beautiful wrecks of the Red Sea, which is in part because the ocean has had over 100 years' time to melt it together with the reef. In 1901, the vessel was on its way to Calcutta, which was supposed to be its second trip to India. Its cargo consisted of parts for the new railway network of the British colony. Many ships ran underground at the Brothers before, so in 1883 the British built a 30-meter-tall lighthouse on the larger of the two islands. The petroleum light was intensified with the lens system from the company Chance Brothers Limited, allowing it to be seen from over 20 kilometers away. The visibility was good early in the morning of July 20th, 1901, allowing Captain John Craig to see the lighthouse on Big Brother at a far distance at 1 a.m. He commanded to change course 3 degrees so they could pass the Big Brother westwards, and with that he went to sleep, leaving Officer Marewood in charge. His rest was a short one. A loud bang awakened him at 2:10 a.m. as the Numidia rammed the northern reef of Big Brother Island at a full speed of 10 knots, that's around 20 kilometers per hour. The navigator must have drifted off at the same time that Captain Craig fell asleep. The vessel was stuck firmly on the reef for several days, and when all efforts to set it free failed, the cargo was recovered and the ship was left to its fate. There were 4 cargo holds on the Numidia, 2 in front and 2 behind the superstructure of the ship. All holds are now empty, open, and easy to dive in. The bow of the former 138-meter-long ship was completely pulverized. The wooden superstructure rotted away a long time ago, and the metal skeleton is covered in hard and soft coral, which gives the Numidia a fascinating new look. Despite all the beauty here, don't forget to take a look into the big blue every now and then. Many in our dive group failed to see this gray reef shark, even though they didn't even penetrate the wreck. It's easy to get stuck watching the corals here. The Numidia has a reputation as one of the world's finest shipwrecks and has a lot to offer. Divers who don't care for wrecks will still be mesmerized by its coral. Wreck divers will love to penetrate the engine room at approximately 40 meters depth. And for technical divers, the propeller at 80 meters is an interesting aim. Due to its cargo, the Numidia received the nickname Trainwreck. After she stranded, the crew first tried to free the ship by throwing heavy piles of rails and locomotive wheels overboard, which we now see on the northern tip at around 5 meters depth. This remaining cargo was to play a significant role in the identification of the wreck. The intended destination of the ship was traced back by measuring the track width of the railway wheels. They were exactly 1.676 meters wide, a special size which was only used in India. We start heading back south and are accompanied by some flutefish. And here, an old friend awaits us to take up his photo shooting. This Napoleon fish is fully grown and over 2 meters wide. He's the largest example of about 80 species of wrasse in the Red Sea. On his menu are also poisonous pufferfish and sea urchins. Another reason why we shouldn't put him on our menu, aside from the fact that we want him to be our model again, eating him could lead to food poisoning and death. The parrotfish are distinguished by their beak-like teeth, with which they eat mainly algae and seaweed. They grind coral and algae with their teeth, and with that, produce the greatest amount of sand in the ocean. A few hundred meters south of Numidia, we come across a large swath in the coral reef. This marks the way to the wreck of the Aida. To finally see the wreck, we have to descend a little more. She lies at a depth of 27 to 70 meters. Unfortunately, the steamboat was affronted by strong waves and currents in the past years. Its shattered superstructure shows that she sunk in a less protected part of the island than Namibia did. She sank in 1957, more than 50 years later, but she's not nearly as impressive as the train wreck. We grant ourselves a little more time at 5 meters and dive back to our liveaboard. After less than 10 minutes, we arrive at our anchorage. Tonight our ship will depart for Little Brother, but before that we will visit the Big Island today. To step foot on the Big Brother is something not to be missed during a brother's safari. It feels a little strange not to be in neoprene and scuba gear on the Zodiac at first, but our destination is now clearly visible above the water. The Brothers are a military outpost. The islands and reefs were formerly a restricted area, and neither land visit nor dives were permitted. Once we realize that it's not the jetty that sways, but that our sense of balance is to blame, we face the island's main tourist attraction. Built in 1883 by English colonists, this lighthouse is 31 meters high. The construction company Chance Brothers Limited inspired the names of both islands. As you can see, the lighthouse is no longer run on petroleum. We take a look out of the window to the north. The stones used for the construction of the tower were broken there with forced labor. That's why the trail we can still see is called the Slave Trail today. The few military members on the island look forward to visits from divers and always invite them to tea and shisha. And besides that, they improve their salary by selling t-shirts and souvenirs to us divers. During the winter months, your ship may be the only liveaboard at the Brothers Islands. The sense of adventure is not only greater when you're out here alone, the chance to see some sharks rises considerably. We walk in the sunset on the southern part of the island. Here at the top, one still finds the remains of the first lighthouse on the island, which was just a little higher than 2 meters. Our view passes the steel remains of the old lighthouse toward Little Brother. Suddenly, the lights of the big tower are ignited. Time for us to head back to our Zodiac. Tomorrow, it's the Little Brother's turn to present us the big fish. The view in the morning from the porthole shows an even grimmer island. Like the last spot of civilization, we see the lighthouse in the distance. But no one comes here for the landscape. Our first dive leads us to the northern plateau at 40 to 42 meters depth. The plateau is a popular cleaning station. So popular that even this gray reef shark has to hold back. These barracudas were here first. The shark seems not to seek dental care, but gets his belly cleaned by a remora. Finally, the barracudas are done and make way for the shark. Fascinated by the giant, we remain on the plateau and take a closer look at the barracudas later. The reef shark is distinguished by his cigar-shaped body and his round snout. Adult reef sharks have a strong territorial behavior, patrolling areas which can extend over 4 square kilometers. A remora cleans the shark on its ventral segment. These fish have a suction cup on the converted first dorsal fin with which they attach themselves to divers now and then as well. At first glance, he seems to have tickled the shark, but since a sudden fast movement and hump up is a common threatening gesture sharks perform, we're careful and back off a little. Due to the plateau's depth of over 40 meters and the presence of sharks swimming beside and below it, gas and non-deco limits vanish fast. We take our last shots and then continue our dive on the upper reef. As with Big Brother, Little Brother is also populated by countless anthias. Here in a dark gap rests a squirrelfish. The big thorn close to his gills can not only tear painful wounds, but is poisonous as well. We see the anthias swimming jauntily at the reef and realize that we are blessed with a dive day without any current. For a change, we stop staring at the big blue for a while and take a closer look at the corals here. These giant flower pot coral grow almost 10 centimeters a year. The fire coral owe their name to their stinging cells. These cells can even penetrate human skin and inject a very painful venom. The numerous dots of the blue-spotted grouper all have a diameter smaller than its own pupil. Like all groupers, Serenidae perform a sex change during their lifespan. They are all born female and then later switch to the male gender. Therefore, the males are always larger. As divers, you will encounter them almost everywhere in the Red Sea. They are common in depths from 2 to 150 meters. One last photo in the sun, and we will follow the calling of the Big Blue. This time, we start our dive on the southern tip of Little Brother Island. Our first stop is a veritable forest of giant gorgonians, a rare sight. These fan corals, which can grow to heights of 2 meters, do not photosynthesize as most of their fellow members do. They feed on small plankton particles which they filter out of the water. This is why we can find them in greater depths than most other coral. A picture of the Titanic shows one gorgonia growing at a depth of over 4,000 meters. Despite this tremendous landscape, let's not forget to cast a glance at the Big Blue now and then. A lone hammerhead shark swims past us suddenly. Unfortunately, only a short encounter, and with a strong current today, it wouldn't be wise to try to follow him. So we stay close to the reef where the sea fans are now and dive in the shadow of the current further north. Ascending 10 meters, we find the sun is more present here. You will find the giant sea fans near Little Brother in the northeast at a depth starting around 12 meters. The gorgonians have an interlocking growth form of small twigs, on which ends the polyps sit and filter out the plankton. Little bumps remain when the polyps retract themselves. Suddenly, a young Napoleon fish hovers beside us. With this young specimen, his distinctive forehead has yet to grow. He's circling as curiously as his relatives did. Only after assuring ample time for admiration from each of us does he make his exit into the Big Blue. A small school of white and black snapper swim beside us. These fish are all grown up. Young snapper are solitary and form schools only with increasing age. When young, they have a black and white color scheme which fades when they grow older, becoming quite light in color. And finally, they turn pitch black. Morays open and close their mouths to breathe. Though it may appear so to us, this 8-foot-long giant moray doesn't mean to scare us. It is once again time to throw a glance into the Big Blue. A giant manta ray sails past. Hard to believe with these intricate movements that these animals weigh up to 2 tons. They use their fins like birds use their wings, and their fins can span up to 7 meters long. Unlike many other species of skates, manta rays have no sting and feed exclusively on plankton, which they catch while swimming with their open mouth. They usually stay close to the water surface in search of their food. Also on the hunt for plankton are these Red Sea fusiliers. They can extend their lower jaw quite a bit when feeding. Deja vu. Yet another Napoleon fish seeks our attention. Several meters further up, these flutefish hunt jewel anthias. They can navigate quite skillfully thanks to their pectoral fins. The smooth flutefish have 2 blue stripes and a few rows of blue dots on their back. At night, they change their color and become almost black. Another hunter who has concluded his chase for the day and now seeks to clean his teeth is this barracuda. Even predators are sometimes afraid of the dentist. But the little helpers are not deterred, and as soon as his mouth is open wide, they go to work. Quick and easy. That wasn't so bad now, was it? We let the barracuda go and wait for new customers. A gray reef shark doesn't make us wait. Instead of the small, cleaner fish, she has a remora on her ventral side. The bite marks on her tail are probably from her last pairing. Male sharks bite females to animate them and maintain their hold while mating. Again, this adult Napoleon fish has a remora in tow. Like its smaller cousins, he won't let us move without engaging us in a photo session. We swim back to our safari boat. We ascend a little higher than our fellow divers and enjoy navigating through their bubbles. This can happen unintentionally when there are a lot of dive groups on the same spot, but diving like this voluntarily is a great feeling, a bit like being in a jacuzzi. The sound of our bubbles seems to have attracted someone else. An oceanic whitetip appears among the bubble. We recognize him immediately by his typical long and rounded pectoral fins. Longimanus are very curious sharks and inspect divers closely. Particularly significant are its white-tipped fins, which look like a painter's brushstroke. The marks are most distinctive on young animals and might even be entirely amiss on adults. This shark had a recent acquaintance with a fisherman, as we can see from the tattered line in his mouth. During the day, white-tips often swim near the water's surface, and this works to our advantage now at this 5-meter safety stop. This curious shark inspects us 3 divers very closely. The oceanic whitetip can swim quite slowly thanks to its large pectoral fins. Despite this, however, you should not avert your eyes from a shark in front of you. One more thing to remember. We divers float in the ocean in 3-dimensional space. Additionally, our field of vision is significantly restricted by the diving mask. It may often be the case that 2 divers side by side are fixed on 2 separate points of interest, and we should therefore always point out something exciting to our neighbor. Without a hint from the diver here, we would have missed out on this approach as well. A large silky shark emerges in front of us. This specimen is about 3 meters long. His hearing is so sensitive that he perceives even low-frequency noise which other sharks produce while feeding. No food for him here, so as quickly as he made the scene, he disappears again. We take our time and wait for the hunters of the ocean to reveal themselves again. And indeed, a second oceanic whitetip appears. We can easily distinguish it from the first because this one has a torn pectoral fin. Presumably, this mutilation came from a fight with another shark because these rogues only form shoals while hunting. Oceanic whitetips are the most listed species when it comes to fatal shark accidents with humans. One specimen was involved in a fatal accident at the Brother Islands. It happened when animals were lured with blood and bait, a practice which has been banned for a good reason for a long time. A woman who watched the spectacle while snorkeling was bitten in the leg by one oceanic whitetip. Since this accident, snorkeling is illegal at the Brothers. And no matter where in the world you are, when the question arises whether you want to participate in luring sharks or even to snorkel with them, your answer should be a distinctive no. Just this paper which fell overboard manages to receive a lot of attention. Just imagine what blood in the water can stir up. Even the silky shark is suddenly back to inspect it. He's a direct competitor in the hunt for food to the oceanic whitetip. There were reports of very aggressive behavior from Longimanus when they encounter silky sharks, and both are hungry. We realize that the animals are becoming more and more curious. Their approach is slow, but they're coming steadily closer. Now we are surrounded by 3 oceanic whitetips and 1 silky shark. Just perfect for our last dive on the Brother Islands. This film was shot on only 2 safari trips, each with 5 days of diving at the Brothers, so the chance that you will see what we saw is amazingly high. After our tank pressure has fallen way beyond the 50 bar mark, we say goodbye to the Lords of the Ocean and look forward to our final dinner on board. Our chef delighted us the entire week and turned every meal into a feast. Tonight, he caps it all off. Thanks to the variety of dishes, everyone's satisfaction was guaranteed. Vegetarians were just as pleased as the meat and fish lovers. During our dinner, the journey back to Hurghada begins. The mainland is now back in view, and we glance at the beautiful sunrise. Our next documentary will lead us to one of the best wreck diving spots in the world. We hope you enjoyed this trip and invite you to join us on our adventures in Truk Lagoon.